Lifeboat Live, we have 4 simple rules. Number 1, we don't discuss politics, ever. Number 2, this is not a religious channel, and while you might hear people say, God bless you, or I'm going to pray for you, or I wouldn't have gotten through this without my faith, that's fine. What's not fine is to say, my God is better than your God, or here's why you're not getting into heaven. It's not going to fly. Number 3, we believe wholeheartedly if you can't control your tongue, then you can't control your life. So while on board, there's not going to be any cursing in the live chat, period. And number 4, there is no room for mean people on the lifeboat. Because we discuss very sensitive things from people's past in our group setting, we got to protect those people. The only way they feel confident and comfortable discussing those things is in an environment that is free of trolls and mean people. So if you're a mean person or you're a troll, we're going to block you for life. And if your account happens to be less than 24 hours old, we're probably a little suspicious right from the word go. Why? Well, because there are people in this world who enjoy being cruel solely for the sake of being cruel. It's not going to fly here. But if you're here because you're trying to get sober and live your best life, then you might find that the lifeboat is just that, a lifeboat. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and we will see you on deck. Riding on the lifeboat, riding on the lifeboat. Good morning, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are riding on the lifeboat. Riding on the lifeboat. So, I got some sleep, and I'm feeling considerably more normal than I was. Normal. M. Hunt, good to see you. Charlie Murphy. Let's see, who else do we have? We have the lifeboat. Good to see you, Tommy. Phases of the Moon. Hello, V. Scoob, good to see you. Sorry about your grill. Dennis, glad you're here. Virginia, hey, hon. And who else? I know I saw someone else. Maybe I didn't. Okay. I know that there are more here. And I know that, hello, John. And I know that 80% of you, the vast majority of people that watch the lifeboat do not hit subscribe to the lifeboat, which just hurts my feelings. But that's okay. It is what it is. Please hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and you will know every single time that we go live on the 5s or the 4:45 in the morning and then the 5 at night. So I'm changing the time up slightly because the sun is coming up earlier and earlier in this part of the world. Hey, squirrel, you hear the kitty? She's talking a lot this morning. Come here. So because we are into full-blown springtime here on the lifeboat, I'm now starting 15 minutes early so that I have time to get out and see the sunrise, because it is an important part of my routine. It's an important part of what I do. So last night, I got a phone call, and I was actually in bed, but I got a phone call, and it was from the mother of the twins, who apparently is watching the lifeboat these days. Hey, Paul, good to see you, bud. And she's watching the lifeboat quietly, because as yet we haven't yet to see her name, and that's okay. That's all right. It's not essential that you get in the comment section. That is really for those of us that are trying to get sober and build connections. And I can understand why she probably does not want to be associated with the boat yet. I get that. But she said that she didn't think it was normal that I attach my happiness to other people and whether or not they are sober. And that got me thinking about this whole normal thing. And it really messed with my sleep. It got me into this whole mindset of what is normal. And I started thinking a lot about this. And it is something that, you could probably spend the rest of your time on this planet not answering, right? You could try to answer that question. Squirrel, please don't do that. Come here. Come on, don't knock over watch stuff. Come here. Come here, squirrel. Squirrel is going to be a pain in the backside for this entire show. She's unhappy because the cat treats that I bought she doesn't like. And that really is an issue when you have a cat like Squirrel, because she is as much into routine as I am. So when we come down in the morning, I make coffee and Squirrel gets a handful of treats. And since the treats that she has now she does not like, she's just a vicious, awful animal. Come on, there you go. There she is. That's right. Give me a little love. So, okay. That's Squirrel's going to do a little mountain climbing apparently this morning. What are you doing? She's an excellent animal and actually provides a whole lot of happiness in my life almost all the time. Sometimes, though, she would rather just be rotten. So I started thinking a lot about this whole normal thing. Hey, Uncle Bill, good to see you. And what does it mean to be normal? What is normal? And the question really starts to get deep the more time you spend, because there was a time in my life where this was a question I didn't have to think about, right? There's a time in everyone's life where what's normal doesn't really matter, right? I have a neighbor that's the same. I'm Gothic and decided to study paganism, so apparently I'm a witch and a Satanist. You know, you can't really allow people to determine what you are. People are going to make decisions about you, Scoob, and that's going to happen the entire time you're on this globe. There are a lot of people who think I am crazy because they think I attach all of my happiness to whether or not other people are sober. And you know what? There's something to that. I do derive a great deal of happiness from trying to help people get sober. And for a lot of people, that's just simply not normal. And for other people, goth is not normal. And you know what? It isn't. It's not. It's not normal for them. But that's okay, right? Because what is normal? And the question becomes, what is normal for you? And the question then also becomes, what is normal for society? What is normal for the world? Because normal, it seems to me, is what you put up with, what you allow, what it is that is your routine, your life, your thoughts, your beliefs. All of these things make up what is normal. And I used to really detest anytime someone said, well, this is the new normal. It was one of those statements that every time somebody said, I would grit my teeth. And it was usually because I was a lot more fond. Hey, Rob, good to see you, Rob McMullen. Glad you're here. I was a big fan of the old normal. So whenever somebody would say, well, this is the new normal, it usually had something to do with me wearing a mask or me doing, this or that. And it just, the new normal became a catchphrase for me for all things I don't like. And so I started thinking a lot about the new normal as well. And hey, Tim, good to see you. The new normal for me requires an entirely different life than the old normal. See, the old normal was I put needles in my arms and pushed liquid drug into my vein for the purpose of feeling normal. Then there was a period of time after I wore out my veins that the new normal was smoking heroin off of tin foil, which meant that in order to be normal, I had to have a roll of tin foil in my house at all times. And it wasn't normal tin foil. It was this really heavy duty stuff that you could hit with a blowtorch and it wouldn't melt. And I'm not exaggerating. You could literally hit it with a blowtorch. This was very special tin foil that cost like $27 a roll. But to be normal, I had to have it in my house and I had to have a lot of it. And when I started getting toward the end of the roll, I would start getting very nervous. I also had to wake up with a minimum of 8 bags of heroin in my possession. So normal was 8 little round balls that were 1/10 of a gram of heroin in each, tied in a balloon, really, really tight. So it looked like a little marble almost. And normal was there were 8 of those colored little balls on my nightstand waiting for me to wake up. Next to it would be what we used to call a tutor, which was a stainless steel tube that I actually got from somebody that did piercings. It was a receiving tube, so it was very, very expensive surgical steel. And it had a little rubber piece on the end for your lips so that it wouldn't get hot and that you could grip it with your teeth. When that rubber started to wear out, I no longer felt normal. And I had to go get a new piece of rubber, which I bought off of only one particular kind of pen. If I couldn't find that particular kind of pen, it was the little thing that your fingers would hold onto. If I couldn't find that particular kind of pen, I didn't feel normal. Normal is what you put up with. Normal is what you allow to be a part of your day, of your routine, of your beliefs, of your life. So the question of what is normal, well, what is normal to one person certainly isn't normal to the other, right? Would it be normal for you to get up every day and work on a computer to try to make a computer smart enough that theoretically it could eliminate human beings? Because this is something that they're talking about in great detail these days. As it turns out, AI may be the most dangerous thing in the whole world. I'm not sure if you guys have been reading about this, but artificial intelligence has the ability to go out and find things out for itself. And AI recently has been Googling, how do you kill human beings? Like, what is the most efficient way to kill humans? If I designed something that started Googling that, I would pull the plug. I would turn it off. But we don't do that. We're continuing to do that. Now, is that normal? Well, it's normal for that jackwagon. The guy that gets up every morning and works on that, for him, that's normal. It wouldn't be normal to any of us. So you understand that normal is in the eye of the beholder. Sadly, the beholder very rarely realizes that they are designing a new normal for themselves. And often they don't realize that they're designing a new normal for the world. So when we talk about the new normal, the other day, the people at Anheuser-Busch decided that after 365 days of being a woman, a man who still has a penis deserved to be put on the can of Bud Light and celebrated for his womanhood. Now, Miss V, been a woman a really long time, but her face is not on a can of Bud Light. Lady Fiona Crispin, been a woman a really long time. Well, not really, really long time, but been a woman a long time and probably deserves to have her face on something, but she's not on that can. Neither is Virginia. Neither is any of the women on the lifeboat who I absolutely celebrate as being a woman. So is it normal that 8 men were voted Woman of the Year? Well, apparently it is, right? That's the new normal. The new normal is what we accept. It's what we say, okay, this is normal. This is what I'm going to put up with. So I'm here to tell you that you do not have to allow normal to be part of your existence if you don't believe it. Plain and simple. The world where Bud Light celebrates a man as a woman, that's not my normal. That's not my world. Now, I'm not a drinker. If I was a drinker, I assure you, I would never have another Anheuser-Busch product. I did a video over on Rumble about boycotting that product. And I'm not doing it out of hate. I'm doing it because I know what is normal in the world that I lived in 10 years ago, and I liked it. And the thing is, most people liked it. We are designing a new normal for less than 1% of the population. Less than 1% of the population is now going to dictate what is the new normal. If we put up with that, well, then it will become normal. It's never going to be normal to me. You do not have to kowtow to what normal is. And that goes across the board for everything, people, for everything. If normal is opening up a fifth of bourbon at 7 o'clock in the morning, pouring it into a water glass and taking as many slugs as necessary to stop your hand from shaking, that's an unacceptable normal. I'm sorry, but it is. If you live in a house that you can't see the floor because there is so much clutter that you honestly have carved walkways to go through, and I say this because I was in a house recently that looked like this. Is that normal? It is for that person. It is. That's normal. They get up every day. They live in that. They have to step over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of already read newspapers in order to get to their bed. They have made that normal. Should it be? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that normal is driving that person insane. You see, the things that we accept as normal sometimes can be the most detrimental things in the world. Was it normal to rob banks to get money for drugs? No, it wasn't. And the first time I robbed a bank to get money for dope, it didn't feel normal. It felt terrifying. Uh, it felt evil. But once that money was in my hand and I knew I got away with it, and I went to see the dope man and I didn't say, give me $100 worth. I said, I need 3 grand worth of dope, enough to last me close to an entire week. Suddenly, that felt normal. And I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it again. And pretty soon it got to a point where if I was buying less than $3,000 worth of heroin at a time, and obviously I got more for $3,000 than if I had bought 130 times. And that became normal. So in order to maintain that normal, I had to continue to rob banks. I had to continue to go in and break the law in order to provide myself with my new habit. Zenwen, good to see you. Zenwen. Her face isn't on a can of beer either. She's been a woman a long time. Doesn't make any sense. But the normal, the new normal, the old normal, any normal is what you allow to be accepted in your existence. So as this world begins to change in ways that you don't like it, right? If you begin to see things that really disturb you, well, there are a couple of ways that you can cope with it. One is you just don't accept it, right? I'm never having a product in my house that is advertised by a man pretending to be a woman. And not because I hate people, and not because I'm someone that is unaccepting or this or that, none of that crap. You know why? Straight up. Here's the thing, people, whether you believe it or not. Before I make a decision like that, I sit down and I evaluate the dog crap out of why I'm making that decision. And I think that this is probably good advice across the board, right? I am moving. I am leaving the state that I live in, and I'm moving to a warmer climate. Before I did that, I spent weeks evaluating why I wanted to move. And a big part of it is that when I drive down the street, and Heather Joy saw this when she was in town, when I drive down the street, everything I pass has a memory tied to crime or drugs everywhere. I can't go anywhere in the city that I didn't watch so-and-so overdose right there, right over there. I watched him overdose, put a needle in his arm in his car, and I had to climb into the into the driver's seat on top of this person and start doing CPR to bring them back from the dead. That is a parking lot I would just as soon never see again. But I started asking myself, am I just moving to get away from this? Because wherever I go, I'm still going to be me, and those memories are going to follow me. So I started to evaluate all of the other reasons that I wanted to move. And I'll be honest, weather had a huge amount to do with it. As I get older, the cold does not do for me what it used to. But I spent weeks evaluating what it was that made me want to move. And I got to a point where I thought, this is a good decision. These are decisions. This is a decision made on a lot of reflection, and I'm ready to live in another place. So I break down all of the decisions that I make. And this is a Q thing. This is a thing that was new to me when I got sober. But I started to try to figure out why I'm so damn offended by a man pretending to be a woman on the cover of a beer. Is it really just being mean to this person? Is it me just being someone that will not accept people who are different? They can be different all they want. I don't have a problem with that. They could live across the street from me. That's fine. But I'm not going to celebrate an actor, and that's what Dylan Mulvaney is, an actor that decides that he's going to act like a woman. And here's the reason I'm not going to. Here's the reason that I won't accept 8 men being voted Woman of the Year. Because it's a slap in the face to women. That's my problem with this. It is an insult to women. It's like saying, you know what? There just aren't enough great women out there. So we're going to create some and then we're going to make them women of the year. That doesn't fly. I love women. I really do. I absolutely love them. All of them. I love them for what they are. They have the ability to create life, which to me is the most unbelievable thing on this planet. Nothing to me is more impressive than that. Honestly, nothing. So if you're someone who feels that they were born in the wrong body, God bless you. God bless you. Because no matter how you look at it, that's a mental illness. And I live with a mental illness every single day of my life, right? I get up early in the morning to talk to people about a mental illness, a disease that we all have. I don't hate anybody for being born with the disease. Nobody. I don't hate anybody for that. So if you feel like you were born in the wrong body, God bless you. I hope that you find happiness. But what you are is someone who is now becoming a woman. You're not a woman. You're going to become one. And you're going to have surgery or medication or whatever to make you look the part. Now, I can put on makeup. I can change what I look like to become part. Does not make me that person. It makes me a imitation of that person. And if you feel the need to imitate a woman to be happy, God bless you. I'll say a prayer for you. I hope it works out. I hope you find happiness. I hope that normal works for you. But I'll be damned if I'm going to say you're more important than someone who was born a woman. Someone who was born with the ability to give birth to me is a woman. That to me is normal. And you know what? Not taking anything else. Not going to play the game. And if that makes me a hater, if that makes me offensive to other people, let them send me emails and tell me what a scumbag I am. I've gotten really good at that. I can collect those. In my new normal, those emails don't bother me. They really don't. Usually by the time I'm done with the second sentence, I just move. I know what's coming. Is it normal to tie your happiness to other people's sobriety? It is for me. It is for me. I live in a world where drug abuse is no longer just people out there getting high. It's people out there on a roulette wheel of death. So I have two choices in my world. And I'm not telling anybody how to live. I'm telling you what's normal for Tommy. And what's normal for me is I have one of two options. One is knowing what's going on, knowing that these drugs are not there to get you high. They're there to kill you. I can just allow people to ignorantly, right? Not that they're stupid, but they don't understand that these pills are there to kill them. I was talking to the twins yesterday after I did the video with, actually right before I did the video with Heather. I had a conversation with the twins, and they got their injection yesterday of Sublocade, each of them, and apparently that injection hurts like hell. I've never talked to anyone who has had it before, but they said it's like getting stung by a bee in the stomach. It's a terrible pain as it goes in, very, very painful. But it was kind of funny too, because the doctor obviously didn't do a whole lot of explanation, because the kids said, the brother said, I'm really happy that we're moving forward. I just fear that I may go and, smoke anyway, and I just hope that I'm able. I said, you do know what's going to happen if you smoke, right? He goes, what do you mean? I said, you're going to get sick. You're going to get really sick. You now have Narcan in your body full time, a lot of it. You have naloxone in your body full time being released for the next 30 days. If you do any dope, you're going to get so sick. He was shocked. He didn't know that that is his new normal. And I think that's probably, maybe I should have just let him get sick. That may have helped more. But regardless. And I said to him, well, at least you're going to save a fortune. Think of how much money you're going to save. And he said, yeah, it's at least $20 a week. Huh? I said, I thought you guys were smoking this stuff every 3 or 4 hours. He said, we are. I said, how does $20 a week come in? People, those pills that say M30 on them that are killing people, the fake Percocets, these kids are paying $1 a piece, $1 a piece for those pills. That's normal now. In the world, that's normal. That those pills are as cheap as $1 a piece. So in my world, I have a choice of allowing people to just continue to take this until it kills them, or I can beat the drum. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure out which of those two scenarios I could live with. One, I could not. It wouldn't be normal for me to not talk about it. It wouldn't. Normal for me is to make this a mission in life. Is that normal for other people? No. It doesn't have to be. You understand? Normal is what you will put up with. So there was a period of time in my life where robbing banks was normal. There was a period of my life where living alone in a cell that was 6 feet wide, right? Put your hands on. 6 feet wide, 14 feet long, with 2 metal bunk beds, a metal sink and a toilet, which were attached to one another, a one-piece unit. That was normal. No television, no computer. The only thing I could do was read books. That was normal. Normal is what you put up with. It's what you have. Sometimes normal is out of our control. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you just feel horrible. It was a tough night. I was throwing up last night. I started getting sick at about 2 a.m., which happens. It's this time of year or whatever. But if that continued, and I went and saw a doctor who said to me, you know what, Tommy, you have cancer. I don't choose that. But all of a sudden, chemotherapy, radiation, going to the hospital every day to deal with this will become normal. It's not fun, and there's no choice in the matter, but that will become normal. You understand what normal is? Normal is what you do every single day, either because you choose to do it or because life chose to deal you that hand. Now, as a person who gets diagnosed with cancer, I could say, I'm not going to do those treatments. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to ride this out and let it take its course. Then dying and knowing that was coming would be the normal for me. Normal you choose, or you have no choice in the matter. One way or the other. But this new normal crap, that is to say, well, this is just what you have to deal with now because society has changed. That only flies if you let it. You understand? There was a time on this planet where the vast majority of people were buying into the concept of eugenics. Well, this is a weak gene trait, right? People who are born with this defect, we should just kill all of those people. There was a period of time where people on this planet thought, we have figured out a way to make the earth a better place. We're just going to kill off anybody that isn't desirable. Huh? That was normal in the minds of a lot of people. I bring that up for a reason. You see, the world got swept up in that crap. Did all of them? No. Nope. There were people who realized that that was evil crap on day one, and they fought it. Fighting what is not normal is my normal. Fighting that which I think is wrong is now normal for me. Is it going to make me popular? Nope. The Rumble gets me a whole new set of hate mail. It does. Whole new set of hate mail. They'd like to cancel me. I'm just uncancelable. I don't have enough to cancel. What are you going to take from me? The point is, you're going to make a choice for what is normal for you. Now, they can put Dylan Mulvaney on a can. Not in my world. Right? As far as I'm concerned, Dylan Mulvaney is a freak. Now, I said, anybody that's born in the wrong body, I feel for those people. I don't buy that with Dylan Mulvaney. This was an actor that didn't get to where he wanted to get to, so now he's playing a new role and getting rich in the process. Like that swimmer, don't buy it. If you really feel you're born in the wrong body, you're not walking around a locker room with your penis hanging out for other people to see. He was a swimmer that couldn't hack it as a man, so he became a woman. Have you ever noticed you don't see a lot of people going the other direction? We don't see a lot of people who all of a sudden are outclassed. And what I mean by that is men are stronger. Can argue that till the end of time if you want. You'll lose. We're born stronger. Testosterone does different things to muscle than estrogen. But we don't see people who think, okay, I was born a woman, but I want to be a man. And I think I'll take up MMA and try to fight professionally. Those things don't happen. That individual realizes that they're going to get stomped to death. But somehow, when the shoe is on the other foot and that person all of a sudden has an advantage, well, all of those people want to compete. Funny, isn't it? Seems odd. Well, in my world, I'm not accepting that. That's not normal, and it's never going to be normal. A man competing in a woman's sports, not going to happen. That person wins a gold medal, I will crap all over that. I'll make videos about it. I will not be happy because I am not accepting that in my normal. Why do I say these things? I say these things because in my life, normal is having bad days that I cope with without the use of a substance to get me through. There was a time in my life where I didn't allow that. There was a time in my life when normal was, if I felt too good, I was going to get high to knock the edges off of it. And if I felt too bad, well, then I was going to knock the edges off of it by using dope. And if I felt just about right, I was going to celebrate that with dope. That was normal. There was a time in my life where normal was every single moment that I was awake, I was under the influence of an opiate. That was normal for me for 30 years. Is it normal? It was for me for 30 years. Is it normal for other people? Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of people on this planet right now, that's their normal. It doesn't have to be. Normal is what you allow. If you're listening to me and normal is doing dope every single day, it doesn't have to be your normal. You understand? If normal requires a case of beer to feel okay, doesn't have to be that way. Is it normal? It is for you right now. But I'm here to tell you that there are thousands of people on the lifeboat who changed their normal. They made a conscious decision to say, not anymore. Not anymore. That normal sucks. That normal sucks. It becomes imperative on you as a creation to try and do the best that you can to be as content as possible. And I'm not going to say happy. Happy is a construct that is different for every person. Things that make me happy might make you miserable. Getting a phone call or getting somebody that reaches out to me and I make the phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning to talk to two people to try to get them clean and having that phone call go until the lifeboat starts. That would not be considered normal for most people, right? That would be miserable for most people. But that's my normal. I chose it. I like it. A lot of you reached out to me and said, you can't keep doing what you're doing. It's going to burn you out. Let me explain something to you. I can't not do what I'm doing. I can't not do what I'm doing. I've tried. And before you go, well, no, I've tried. You see, I did this. I got out of the drug game while I was still in prison. Then I got out onto the street and I stayed sober. And then I started the lifeboat and sober became fun. It was no longer just a matter of I'm getting through the day. The new normal for me had a mission attached to it. And teaching people that it was possible to live without drugs became a part of my life. And then it became a big part of my life. In fact, there was a time I was doing 3 of these shows a day, which was not possible. I wish I could. Seriously, I wish I had enough money where I could do 3 of these a day. If I had enough money, I would do 4 a day. I would. I would give people an opportunity to come to these things 4 times a day because I think it would help. If you could come whenever you wanted, that would be perfect. If the lifeboat had 24 one-hour shows a day, obviously me not doing all of them, that would kill me. But if there were enough of us that could do this around the clock, it would be the best case scenario. But see, I did this, right? My partner and I worked on it. And then about this time last year, I burnt out. And I listened to all of the emails from people that said, can't keep doing what you're doing, right? It's going to kill you. It's going to make you miserable. You can't keep doing what you're doing. You can't keep doing what you're doing. You got to stop doing what you're doing. Can't keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is not normal, Tommy. What you're doing is not normal. Well, I listened. And Mark and I had a long conversation about it, and we shut down the lifeboat. We shut it down so that we could have a normal life. And what I found was that normal didn't work for me. It didn't. One of the things that I think people miss in this is that I don't come here twice a day for an hour just so that I can talk to people and help them. I also come here twice a day for an hour so that I can work through crap going on with me. This Dylan Mulvaney thing is literally driving me insane. Now, how do I deal with that? I come and I talk about it. On Rumble, I really let it fly. I said whatever was on my mind, and I got a lot of peace through that. I cope with the things that are bothering me by never pulling them inside and holding them. I cope with the things that are bothering me by letting them all hang out. And I let them all hang out for everybody to watch. Is that normal? The hell is normal? It's normal for me. It's normal for me. How? Because I chose it. And I like it. I like it. It helps me get what I want out of my life. It allows me to live content, this whole thing. So I'm going to keep doing it. And I appreciate everybody that says, you really need to stop doing this. You're killing yourself. I know that everybody that says that is saying it out of love. And for that, I love you. I really do. If you've reached out to me and you've said, you got to stop doing what you're doing, I love you for saying that. I really do. But I will say this. I don't do anything that I don't evaluate the crap out of. I spend a great deal of time working on any of the things that I deal with every day. I don't make these decisions lightly, right? I love a person that lives thousands of miles away from me. You could not get any further away than the person I love. If you took a globe and you shoved the knitting needle through the middle of it, you would come out in the state that she lives in. There are people who will tell you that that's insane. Obviously, spent a lot of time wondering if that was insane. Worked it through my head. I'm very capable of doing exactly what I'm doing, and I'm content as hell, and I like my life. Would it be normal for somebody else? No. No. It would probably drive other people crazy. But my job, whether you believe it or not, my job is to make it so that Tommy has no desire to do dope. That, to me, is my number one job. That's it. Now, I love helping people get sober. It's a huge part of how I live. It is a huge part of my normal. But every part of my normal is designed to keep me from getting high. Got it? Every part of my normal, everything, is designed to keep me sober. I got 1,000 of these things in my house, right? 1,000 of them. Watches. They're everywhere. And I work on them for unbelievable amounts of time. I restore them. I play with them. I sell them. I buy them. They make up a huge chunk of my life. Why? Because they help me stay sober. Because when I was addicted to drugs, I would say if I could do it all over again, I would just play with watches because that's what makes me content. I loved being around them. I loved talking about them. When I got an opportunity that very few people ever get, I got an opportunity that so few people ever get. I had everything taken from me. Everything. I had all of my earthly possessions taken. I had nothing left. Nothing. I had everything that I did on a daily basis taken from me. I couldn't do the things that I did ever again. I had my freedom taken from me. I had my ability to go see people, my ability to talk to people, my ability to go to church. Every single thing that made up my life got taken away from me. And then they said, in 1,385 days, we're going to give it all back to you. Which, of course, isn't how it works. Everything you lost is still lost. But we're going to kick you out, and you're going to go start up and do what you did again, and you have a new life, and you go live it. Well, that's an opportunity. You can look at that and go, I'm screwed. They did this, this, and this. And do you know how many convicts do that for the rest of their life? They get out of prison, and they piss and moan about the fact that they went to prison until the day they close the basket. And then you're done. You can cry about anything for an eternity. But I figured I had a clean slate, right? My name was Brett. Brett broke a hell of a lot of laws. Brett got sent to prison. I came out Tommy. Now, you don't have to change your name. It was pretty much my name was changed before I came out because my brother had been telling people about me for years and not using my name. So I slid right into Tommy. Now, I could have come out and said, I'm not Tommy, here's my name. I liked the idea of an entirely new person. I did. Is that normal? It is for me. It is for me. And I got to design Tommy into whoever I wanted him to be. So I thought, I'm going to work with watches. I've always wanted to do it. I'm going to do it. Makes me happy. Are there days it doesn't? You bet. No one's happy every day. If you're happy every day, there's something wrong with you. For real. There's something wrong with you. But my normal would not be good enough without the lifeboat. The problem is I don't walk around with the blinders on that the rest of the world does. Why? Because I'm a junkie. I was a part of that life for so long. Thank you, ZW. Appreciate you. I really do. I really do. Don't do it too often, please. Zenwen would do that until she couldn't pay the rent because that's the kind of person she is. Don't do it until you can't do it, okay? Please. Love you. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I just don't want you to do too much of it. If that sounds mean, then I keep having songs jump into my head. Lemmy, I love when that happens. I try not to fight them. If a song jumps in my head, I try to go through the entire thing from start to finish. Listen to the lyrics. I think that's a beautiful thing, but that's me. So I had the opportunity, people, to completely redo what is normal. And all of the things in my life that were normal, I got rid of. Truthfully, across the board. I mean, what did I keep? I kept the fact that I loved my family. I kept that. My belief in God, I never lost my belief in God. I just lost my relationship with God. That may not make sense to some of you, but it'll make a lot of sense to some of you. I lost my relationship with God. I got that back. I always loved my kids, but I didn't have a relationship with my kids. I got the relationship with my kids back. Spent a ton of time yesterday on the phone with Calhoun, who's doing great. I'm just so proud of the kid. I really am. I spent a ton of time on the phone yesterday with Cedar as well. And it's just, I get joy from that no drug ever gave me. One of the best parts of the new normal of what I am is that when something like that happens, when I find something that just flips my switch, when I find something that starts that little bit of happy in the center of your chest and it radiates out until you feel it through your entire body, I multiply it and I put it away. I file it. I file it in this will pull me out of any horrendous mood I have. So yesterday, after working on a watch for about 6 hours and not having the thing come back to life, which is frustrating, realizing I'm going to have to disassemble it and try again. I was not up for the disassembly. It was going to be a long process. So I sat down and I thought, man, and I could feel the wheels starting to come off. I could feel myself starting to go into a place that I didn't want to be. So you know what I did? I went to that file. What makes you really happy, even when things are awful? Well, there's a list. So I looked at what time it was, and I said, well, in Australia, it's the middle of the night. So I'm not going to call Lady Crispin, and I'm not going to call Alan Valentine. It's late. So instead, I called my daughter, who said, "I'm in school, Dad." And normally she will talk to me. She'll text me while she's in school. But apparently whatever they were talking about was fun because she said, "I'm in school, Dad. I'll talk to you later." So I reached out to my son, who I knew was working, which is why I called my daughter first. But my son said, "No problem. Let's talk." And by the time I was done talking to Calhoun, I was in a great mood. Seriously. Everything that was bothering me was over. And then you know what happened? I had spent enough time talking to him that Cedar rang me up and said, "So what's up? I'm out. I'm not in class." And then I talked to Cedar for about 40 minutes. And my daughter has just this unbelievable sense of humor. She's got it from my side of the family, really quick on her feet. And she just had me laughing hysterically. My daughter is my conduit to the world that I don't find normal. She has grown up in it. And she has come to realize that a great deal of it is insane. So the two of us talked about all of the things that I've already yelled about today that I don't find normal, that I refuse to accept as normal. And she had me laughing hysterically. And by the time I was done with that, it was not so late in Australia. It was starting to be early in the morning in Australia. And I was able to talk to Lady Crispin. But I have things that I can do that will pull me out of any mood. Not because I'm a genius. I take that back. I'm a genius. I'm smart enough to know that if something really makes me happy and I didn't have to buy it and I didn't have to break my skin, right, to jam it into me to make me happy, then I'm going to repeat that process every time I need it. You understand? Rinse and repeat. If it works once, it will work again. And this is for everything. If you feel like you're about to get high, but you find a way not to, whatever that way was. Do you know I reread some of your emails again and again and again? If you send me an email that touches me, I don't get rid of it. I had a beautiful email from M. Hunt yesterday, and I've read it about 6 times. And I'm not exaggerating, probably thousands of them now that I have put away. I had an email recently from Tommy Bird, and he had a picture of him and his family. And he just told me what they were going to do and, you know, what sober fun for Tommy Bird is. And seeing a picture of Tommy with his kids, I'm telling you, people, that's a drug for me. So is it normal that I tie my happiness to that? Yep, it is. You betcha. It's normal. Am I going to win all of them? Nope. In fact, I'm going to lose way more than I win. But the ones that I win make life fantastic. And when I feel like I'm losing one, or if I know I lose one, you know, somebody overdoses or they, you know, or they give me the finger and tell me they're just going to go back to life. And I get that one all the time too. F you. And they just walk off and go back to drinking or drugging or doing whatever. I could sit and concentrate on that and drive myself insane. Or I could go back and start going through all of those emails of people that the boat has helped. If that doesn't work, Cedar's getting a phone call. Right? Or Calhoun is. Or Lady Crispin is. Or Alan Valentine is. Or any of the people that I use as the method for staying happy when things in life don't make me happy. Normal. My normal rocks. It really does. You know what else is normal for me? It's normal that 10 or 12 times a week, I will get an email from somebody that tells me I'm doing too much and that I'm going to burn out and that this is going to drive me insane. That's normal. And it used to really upset me. It used to upset me because, number one, I would buy into it. I would start to think, you know what? These people are right. Now I try to explain to them that you assume I do this for other people. I do this for me. It's great that other people get to watch, but I do this for me. This is my sobriety. This is how I stay sober. This is my normal. And it's not an accident. It didn't happen by accident. I accepted it. See, normal must be accepted. I'm not going to accept a man on a beer can as the woman of the year. I'm not going to do it. If I don't accept it, it will never be part of my normal. You understand? It will never be part of my normal. Nope. You want that to be part of your normal? God bless you. If you think Dylan Mulvaney laying in a bathtub pretending to be a woman is normal, good for you, man. Good for you. Enjoy that normal. Not this cat. Not this cat. No. It's not something that I intend to put up with. Now, it's seeing people sober and happy makes you happy now. How awful, Tommy. Right? The hell's wrong with me? That is really funny. But you're right. You know, it's I enjoy the hell out of it. I really do. I enjoy the hell out of it. And there are some other things that are normal for me. I need to see the sun come up. I need to see the sun come up. It helps me in ways that I can't explain. I really can't. I've tried to. I can't tell you how many shows I've done trying to explain why watching that sun come over that mountain does what it does to me. I mean, I can tell you that they took it away from me. My fault, by the way, but they took it away from me. I didn't have the ability to see the sun come up, and that was really, really in effect. It's a good thing, Captain. I think those people like myself sometimes worry about the boat not being here if you burn out. If I burn out, then there's going to be 7 to 14 days where I'm not here. I will get really angry, and someone will have really pushed my buttons, and all of those things will all hit me at the same time, and I'll go, man, screw this. And for about 7 to 14 days, I will take a vacation, and then I will realize that I'm in deep trouble if I don't keep doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm sure that at least 4 or 5 of you have already come to this conclusion. But do you know what this thing is? This. I'm journaling. Think about it. This is a audio and video journal. It's exactly what it is. This is me journaling, especially the morning video. The one at night is often, more often than not, really designed to help other people. The morning one, I'm just journaling. And I know that it doesn't much matter because what I journal about is always sobriety related, so we can get away with it. But this is just journaling. Honestly, that's what I do. I sit in front of a camera and a microphone and I journal because I do a much better job talking than I do writing. And I've told you this, we've had this discussion. From here to here changes. If you read my journal, I mean, you would know what it is. I was going to say you would have no idea it's me, but you would know because of the things that I write. But if you just looked at my ability to communicate on paper versus my ability to communicate when talking, you would realize that they are really two different things. Without exaggeration, and I honestly, if I'm wrong on this, I'm not wrong by much. In the 2 years that I have been doing this, I bet you there have been less than 7 or 8 days that someone didn't send me an email that said, you need to write a book. Maybe 2 weeks. There might be 14 days out of the entire time the boat has been going that someone has not sent me an email in a day that said, you really ought to write a book. And if I were smarter, I would have saved every one of them. I didn't start saving them until, I don't know, 5-6 months into the lifeboat. Now, when people say it, I go put them somewhere. Because someday, if I ever write a book, I'm going to list all of the emails and say, this is the number of people. Finally, I caved in, kind of a thing. I don't write a book because my ability to go from here to here is a very difficult thing. I would need a ghostwriter. I would need somebody that could listen to everything that I say and then turn it into a book. I just don't have the capacity to do that myself. I'm aware of that. It's a shortcoming of mine. It is a learning disability, whatever you want to call it. But I am a completely different person talking than I am writing. But the boat is my journaling. Really is. And it's definitely attached to trying to help people get sober. My insomnia changed into sleeping constantly because all my other disorders that cause tiredness. You know what, Scoob? If I had to have one or the other, because I have spent the vast majority of my life dealing with insomnia. And if I had to have one or the other, boy, I'd rather sleep than have insomnia. Insomnia is just, it's tough. And if you're struggling with sobriety or with addiction or whatever, then it is the worst. There's not much worse than hey, Full of Hope. I didn't see you earlier. Full of Hope is not on a can. Her face does not appear on a can. And she's been a woman for far longer than Dylan Mulvaney, who hasn't been a woman, period. Has never had a period either, while we're on the subject. Dylan Mulvaney is now being paid to advertise sports bras, which makes a lot of sense since he has no breasts that need to be held in place by a sports bra. Here's why I'm pissed on that one, people. I'll just say it since I don't care about YouTube anymore. I care about you guys, don't get me wrong. I just don't care whether or not the big red button gets angry at me. If you take all of the advertising that is spent on athletes, right, put it into a big pile, you know what percentage of that gets paid to women? What percent of the pie of all advertising to all sports athletes, what percentage of that pie goes to women? 1%. Now, that's marketing, right? There aren't a lot of women watching sports compared to men. So they go where the money is. So they're going to advertise using male athletes, blah, blah, blah. However, then you're going to take a good chunk of that money, millions of dollars, and pay it to a man pretending to be a woman. Not on my watch. I love women too much for that BS. Feel me? Women, real ones, the kinds that actually need a sports bra to hold themselves in place. Women, love them. Love them. Been a big fan of them my entire life. I am a lover of women across the board. Thin ones, fat ones, sad ones, happy ones, right? Blondes, brunettes, black, white. I don't care. I love women. So I think that it is a slap in the face of every woman on this planet when we give a man a Woman of the Year award. Or if we pay a man to advertise sports bras, we're screwing over every single woman born a woman. And that's not my normal. It's never going to be my normal. I'm not putting up with it. So when I get a chance to say, not my normal, I'm going to say it. I am. And you know what? People say you really need to be nicer. You know, if you put yourself on a beer can, then you have opened up the right for me to say whatever the hell I want to say. If a person moves across the street who wants to dress and live like a woman, I'm not going to beat on them. I got nothing to say about that person's life. Nothing. You do what you do. It's got nothing to do with me. But you want to say, after 365 days of being a woman, they put my face on a beer can. Yeah, you know what? Bullshit. I'm not putting up with that one. You got into my space, right? Your insanity does not stop. It got into my normal, not having it. Not my normal, not having it. Dylan Mulvaney is a phony, a fraud, and a freak. And to look at that man in a bathtub pretending to be a woman, the Italians have a word, schivare, skeeve. You know that thing right where you're like, and you're about to go, but you don't. If you've never seen that before, watch the Stroming video with me and my brother. But that feeling, that's what I get when I see Dylan Mulvaney in a bathtub pretending to be a woman. That's what I get. So I'm not going to play that game. To every woman on this planet, I owe them more than that. They've been very nice to me. Far nicer than they should be. I have been very, very close friends with an awful lot of women. And many of them have treated me far better than I ever deserved to be treated. So to every one of those women and to all of the ones I haven't met, I'm not putting up with that BS. I owe it to women. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that my mom is pretty important to me. She's a woman. Never saw her face on a beer can. And I don't need to tell you how old my mother is, but if you multiply 365 by a hell of a lot more days than the number I've been on this planet, I don't see how somebody that's been a woman for 365 days deserves anything. Dylan Mulvaney's never been a woman, never will be a woman, and certainly will never be anything in my normal. You feel me, peeps? So if that makes me a hater, then I'm a hater. But I don't think it makes me a hater. You know, the cat stayed in the basket the entire video until she didn't. There you go. Knock over the entire setup, squirrel nut zipper. This is a cat in a lap because she refuses to be in a basket. Look at this. Is this a cute animal or what? What are you doing? She does that on a regular basis. She never bites me hard, but nothing makes her happier than squirrel giving my finger a good bite. He's a good kitty. Squirrel is a girl. Squirrel is all girl. Aren't you, kitty? Yeah, look at that little earwork. This is a good kitty. All right, peeps. That brings me to 1 hour. And I am now going to go outside and I am going to watch the sun come up. And you know what? I bought myself enough time because it's not actually coming up right now. The last couple of times that I've done the show, I've actually been a little late getting out there. Hey. Who's a good kitty? You want to bite my finger? We got really lucky when I got the cabin cat. We did really well with squirrel. And it's amazing that you guys pick the name of the cat and then I end up getting a cat who's named the same name. What are the odds of that? I mean, of all the names in the world, it's not like the name was Fluffy or Mittens or something that everybody names the cat. Ow, she's biting me again. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, she just jumped in the basket. You going to lay down in there? Hold on 1 second. I might even be able to give you a cat in a basket. What are you doing? All right, everybody. I am Captain Tommy Scoville. We'll be back in 11 hours. And this, hey. Ow, look, she's biting me again. This is a cat in a basket. All right. Have a great day, people. Make it a great day. And here's the thing. Let's end on this note. Your normal is your normal. Don't let anybody else tell you what the new normal is. Normal is what you accept. What you accept is normal. So I'm not here to tell you what you should accept. You like Dylan Mulvaney on a can of beer? God bless you. That's your normal. But it ain't mine. I'm Tommy Scoville. We'll see you in about 11 hours. M. Hunt, thanks for the email. Appreciate you. That goes to everybody too. All of you. Love you all. Thanks again, ZW. I appreciate you. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.